49ers receiver Ricky Pearsall wounded in an incident in San Francisco. I discussed that, but maybe from a slightly different angle. And hopefully, we'll see. We get to Brandon Aiyuk. He signs a deal. What do I think that means for your San Francisco 49ers? We talk about all that and much more right now. Let's go.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace. Welcome to another episode of the Eric Crocker Show. I'm your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And of course, this show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Download the app or go to underdogfantasy.com. Use promo code Crocky. Heck, I hit for $72 last night. Let's go. Make you a little bit extra money on Underdog Fantasy. Again, download the app or go to underdogfantasy.com right now. Use promo code Crocky. I see people filtering into the chat, man. We got some... The hot news was Brandon Aiyuk, and then an incident happened where 49ers rookie receiver Ricky Pearsall was shot in a robbery attempt in San Francisco. And I wanted to take a different angle. I've seen a lot of people discuss this from, what it means for the 49ers. When will Ricky Pearsall get back on the field? I think right now, most importantly, the biggest thing it should be him, resting up, healing. He was released from the hospital, less than 24 hours after the incident. But I think there's a bigger issue here. I've also seen the political angles on all this. There was a lot of people that talked about San Francisco is a Democratic city in California state, blah, 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 blah. Shut the up. Okay, that part, that's not my biggest issue with this. All right, so we're going to talk about my biggest issue and my part in all of it, my part in it, and how I feel like, we can continue to try to improve and do better for the youth. All right. So anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I see the flames going up. Niner gang, Tay. Let's go. We got Brian J in the chat. We got Travis in the chat. He says, good morning, Croc. And he also says, happy Labor Day. From the home of love. Let's go. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there. Happy Labor Day to everybody that chose to listen to me talk for. Probably won't be here that long today. I got football practice at 9 a.m. If you are in California, it's 8:07 a.m. right now, 9 a.m. And they say if you're on time, you're late. So I actually have to be there a little bit earlier. All right, got a big game against Clovis West this Friday. Can't wait for that. But let's get into the topic. Let's get into the topic. All right. Real quick, Niner Gang Tay says could have won $1,500 last night if Kyle Ford got one more reception. Whew. My son, D, he's 17 years old. He signs up for Underdog. I don't know. My wife helped him. I don't know how he did it. But anyways, this is the first time ever playing Underdog. And he sends me the players that he picked. It was like the kicker for USC. It was like he took the higher on 7 points from the kicker. So, that could be like 2 field goals and two extra point touchdowns, however you do it, that's what he got. All right, so he hit on that. One of them was the receiver, Lacey from LSU. Clearly, he blew that out in the first half. The other one that my son had was Branch. So he used 3 players, put down $37, I think it was, to collect like $250 or something like that. I'm excited. I'm hoping he hits. Stop asking me and your mom for money. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that's the case. Anyways, Branch, who for whatever reason didn't play a whole lot in the second half, like offensive snaps, 6 yards shy. So my son is bummed. He texts me, I'm done. I'm never betting again. And then I go downstairs and I'm like, oh, D barely missed. And my wife said, yeah, he's over here asking me for more money. So now he's addicted. My son's addicted. He, I think with Underdog Fantasy, be careful. I'm gonna have to send the Gambleaholic anonymous phone number to my son, man. He might be in some trouble. He might be in some trouble. Michael in the chat says, is Clovis West still running WT? No, They are running a more power offense. I'd say it's more pro style than what we're used to seeing. They definitely will go. Shoes. They'll go. 10 personnel. They'll or excuse me. They'll go like 20, like 22 personnel, 21 personnel. They probably run more of that than I've seen, but they will spread it a little bit. They got a talented quarterback who I actually played with his dad in the arena league. But he's a freshman, already has an offer to Miami. Big kid, so I'm excited to kind of, we kind of got to kick his butt, but I'm excited to watch him in person. So yeah, Clovis West, they're mixing it up a little bit. They are mixing it up a little bit. All right, here we go. Ricky Pearsall, San Francisco 49ers rookie receiver, was robbed at gunpoint in first. Okay, one more time. Let me rewind one more time. I'm not this person that breaks news, right? Like I'm not that type of like I love talking football. That's what we come on here for. If you go to my Twitter timeline, it's talking football. I'm not here to break news. I'm not here to do any of that. All right, I'll give my thoughts on certain things and how things are a little unfortunate or whatever, or I'll talk about the game from maybe a different angle. But I am not here to break any news. So I saw people breaking news, and I'm like, man, is that true? And it's like, I don't know. I think breaking news, especially when you don't have a lot of I don't even want to say facts, but if you don't have if you're not having really multiple sources, because it starts to sound all over the place, I think it's a little irresponsible. I think it's a little irresponsible from a lot of people. I saw it on social media. I saw, and I'm not calling these people out, but I'm just saying I think it's a little irresponsible to assume certain things, report certain things that come back as not factual in a situation like this. So I think that part is irresponsible, but that's not what I do. My job is on here talking to y'all, man. We talk football, we give thoughts, and I wanted to give my thoughts on just the situation in general. So like you all, I see on social media start floating around my timeline that Ricky Pearsall apparently was shot. You had no further details in that. Eventually, details start to kind of fly, or some truthful, some not. First, it was he got shot in the shoulder, then he got shot in the arm, then he was shot twice, then he got shot, and it was a bullet that went through his shoulder. All right, I'm pointing at my left shoulder. I don't know what shoulder it was for him, but right then when I heard that, I'm like, okay, I think I see where people are saying, okay, he got shot in the chest, he got shot in the back, he was shot twice. A lot of times they'll call an exit wound getting shot twice. So like if you get shot and it goes through, then they'll say it's like you're shot twice, but you know you're shot once. But anyways, he clearly was shot in a struggle with someone trying to rob him for his rollie. All right, now again, I'm not this news breaking person. I'm not, I don't claim to have like all these sources, but I know, some, people on the team, not like the 49ers football team, but just people a part of the 49ers organization. And the text message I got was that the 49ers had a party later that evening, which eventually we did see all the pictures of, Rick Ross and Kyle Shanahan and Debo and Aiyuk and those guys at this party. But the 49ers had a party, and I'm assuming, now again, I hate to assume, but I'm assuming that when you get ready for a party, a lot of times you'll go shopping, right? You go shopping and see, okay, hey, maybe me and my girl, hey babe, let's go to the city. I think he had an autograph signing at some point, but hey babe, let's go to the city. Let's go shopping, get some, cool clothes, maybe get some new kicks. Man, we got the party tonight. All right, let's go. You throw on your nice rollie. Feel me? I'm throwing on my Apple Watch. All right. But and here's the tough thing. Everybody made this like big political thing. But at the end of the day, all right, and we're gonna get to this kid in a second. That's gonna be my different angle. But at the end of the day, if you have something that other people want, you can become a target. All right. So this had nothing to do with him being a football player. he could have been anybody, but he had the Rolex on. And it is unfortunate that people think that way. I think that, and we'll get to like kind of my part in this and my responsibility in all this, but I think it's unfortunate that so many people think that way, to where you have something, I don't have it, and I want to take that. I don't think that has anything to do with being a Democrat. I don't think that has anything to do with being a Republican. I don't think that has anything to do with any of that, anything political. I think it just has to do with the way society, f- for a lot of people, when they talk about systematic oppression and all that, has kind of been structured. And you do everything you can to try to help and get people out of those type of situations, so maybe they don't have that same mindset. But it sucks, and I hate that for Ricky Pearsall, who was wounded in this. And now I'm reading a report from the person that was first there. I think it was like a police officer, a lady, and she heard gunshots. She thought it might have been somebody skateboarding. She goes over, she sees, oh, somebody was shot. She goes over. Ricky Pearsall is asking, am I gonna die? Like, come on, man. Like, it's just sad. But this is it, and it's hard to tell somebody, hey, when you're over here, when you're there, don't wear your Rolex watch. Like, I'm from Stockton. All right, I'm from Stockton, California, and it is a city town that is known to have a little bit higher crime rate. You know what I'm saying? Um, because I'm from here, I have learned that, and if you guys see me keep doing that, I think my mustache hairs are a little too long, so I keep getting tickled in my nose. But because of that, I've learned to kind of be very aware, right? Be very aware, be very alert, understand my, what what is around me, right? What to wear, what not to wear. And I ain't even saying no like Crips and blood type stuff, like don't wear red in this neighborhood, blue, or you go to Southern California, you can only wear certain hats or whatever. I ain't even saying stuff like that. I'm just saying in in general, um, I'm not going out with the, what I'm saying, with the bling bling. I'm not going out with the, what I'm saying, the rollie. And the only reason why I'm not is because I'm very aware of, there are people, I've been around them. I've been around them. There are people that I know will try to rob me because of what I have, and that because they don't have it. So I'm very aware of that. So I don't go anywhere. I don't have big, I got my little gold chain I never take off. All right. Um, but and it's usually tucked in. Y'all don't ever see it out. But I'm very aware of that, right? And with this situation, it's tough. And I think the bigger issue with it all is that not Ricky Pearsall, not saying that there's not a big issue that he got shot. It's the kid, right? Like, you got a 17-year-old kid. Now this is my different angle. I'm in this. I'm right in the middle of this. You got a 17-year-old kid from the 209, right? He's from Tracy. And so I know firsthand, like, these kids. I mean, from Stockton to Tracy to the Bay Area, like, I know these kids. I am around these kids. It's their upbringing. And it's crazy. I worked at this elementary school. As soon as I stopped playing football, I had worked at this elementary school. And I'm thinking, it's a choice. Everybody has a choice. You got a choice to do good, you have the choice to do bad. You have a choice to do good, you have a choice to do bad. But it's your choice. You want to go to school, you want to get good grades, you want to play football, you want to play sports, you're going to lift weights. You got a choice, right? And then I realized right away, being at this school, interacting with a lot of the parents, the people around, it's not all set up the same. And when you look at this person and how they live, and then you see the mom come in, mom on drugs, uncle is a drug dealer, uncle's a pit. You understand why people start to, how they grow up a certain way, the decisions that they make is because of everything that they see. It begins to be very normalized, right? And it's this reoccurring cycle, right? So my part in it, I see this and I'm like, ooh, Croc, you gotta do something, bro. You gotta do something to help. So my way of helping was I got into coaching. Um, my wife, at times she gets a little irritated, but she wouldn't have it any other way because she knows I love interacting with these kids. Baby mama's like, man, you shouldn't be coaching with her, right? Like, but they know, man, I don't coach for me. I don't get anything out of this, right? I'm about to go coach in 40 minutes. I don't get anything out of coaching, but or I do. The one thing I do get out of it is, Saturday I'm feet kicked up on the couch and I'm watching Jacob De Jesus. And I coached Jacob De Jesus in middle school and in high school. And I'm watching my guy uh, play against University of Houston, and he scores 2 touchdowns. And I'm like, let's go, Jacob. Right? Like I saw this kid all the way, right? It's being a part of that and seeing that. Like that's the most I get out of it. Later that evening, 8 o'clock at night, it's a late game. The Washington Huskies come on, and I'm watching Jonah Coleman. And I'm remembering the times Jonah sleeping on my couch, right? Like we got tournaments the next day. Jonah sleeping on my couch. I got kids at the house, and I got videos in my phone. I have videos in my phone where I have Jonah sitting there and we're playing video games and everything. Who went on? Jonah scored 3 touchdowns the other night for Washington. Really scored 4. They called one back. He had like a 45-yard touchdown run. They called back. Shout out to my guy. He's going to the league. But anyways, I got videos in my phone of Jonah on the couch. And the guy next to him that's talking to him is now dead. You know what I'm saying? At my house. And that's tough, right? Because you try to help these kids the best way you can, and knowing that their circumstances is not what this is other people's circumstances are all the time. Now Jonah has a good dad, but I'm just saying in general, a lot of these kids, they're so troubled and then they're influenced by everything that they see around them. So the Jonah, I remember we took Jonah to Atlanta, right? Went to Atlanta, took the kids to playing this huge tournament. Did awesome. Took them to the. They had this whole museum for Martin Luther King. We took all the kids to that. Man, that was awesome. But I got a picture. Where's the picture? I have a picture of all of us, and one of the kids in that picture, right? That we're all. These are all athletes, young athletes. They're in middle school. He's in jail, and I don't think he's ever getting out. So you can try, right? You can try to be impactful. Shout out to my guy, Vince Carter, out here in the 209. He does so much for these kids. You can try to do everything possible for them, but there's always going to be a few stragglers. And I hate that I see a 17-year-old kid, all right? A 17-year-old kid his life has changed forever. And multiple people's lives have changed forever, right? Ricky Pearsall's life is changed forever. Now, he was released from the hospital within 24 hours. It from everything that we're seeing, he's going to be okay, right? But just the traumatic experience of this happening, like his life has changed forever. This kid who made this awful decision to try to take something that somebody else has because he doesn't have it, his life is changed forever. And I feel bad. And I think that a lot of people, well, why do you feel bad for him? I feel bad because of whoever he had around him and whatever his upbringings are. And I feel bad that, man, maybe I could have helped this kid not make that decision, and that's why I coach. So that was kind of my different angle on this. I think everybody's looking at it, and I'm seeing all the political stuff flying and stuff like that. But if we do want to make it a political thing, it shouldn't be a Republican or Democratic thing. It should be, hey, what policies can we put in place to give these kids more resources? What policies can we put in place to help these kids even more? And the kids got to take advantage of those things. Because again, like I said, we're flying kids all over the United States. Had them in Atlanta. Jonah Coleman, I'm again watching him on TV. He scores 3 touchdowns, right? But in that same picture, I see another kid who's in jail, and I don't think he's ever getting out. So you can try to do everything possible for these kids, but um, you know, it's tough. It's tough, and I always think about, like, everybody ain't gonna hear it, but if one kid does, then we did good. We did good. So it's unfortunate, the Ricky Pearsall situation. I am so glad. I said a prayer. I'm so glad that he ended up being okay, and hoping for a speedy recovery. And I think it's going to be a great story. When you see him run out there on that field in that number 19, I do expect to see him on the field this year. There's been other guys that it's crazy. I mean, oh well, this guy got shot. This guy got shot. Like, I don't even think that should be a part of the conversation, right? But Tank Dell, he was shot this offseason in the leg, and he's back out there. Robinson, I believe it is the running back for the Commanders. He was shot in the leg, and we saw him come back and play that year. So uh, you know, hopefully with Pearsall, man, like, I want to see my guy on the field, and not because for a selfish, like, well, that's the 49 first round pick, let's get him on the field, man. Like, just so that to see somebody overcome some adversity. And that's what I believe I made the title on this thumbnail on this, talking about adversity. And that's what this is. And I think we all go through different type of adversities in our lives. It could be from a spiritual standpoint, it could be financial, it could be within friendships, family. And I think you learn a lot about people with how they overcome adversity. And I'm excited to see how Ricky Pearsall overcomes it. So, I want to see Ricky Pearsall, hey man, run out there against the New York Jets. But again, not for my own selfish reason. And again, I don't know if he is, but not for my own selfish reason, but just to, like, an FU to people, like, man, you're not gonna hold me down, man. And to show how strong he is. So I am excited for this comeback for Ricky Pearsall. He's dealt with a lot of adversity, whether it was shoulder injuries and now a gunshot wound, but it's deeper than even just this isolated, not even an isolated situation. It's deeper than this situation. It's, what are we doing to help these the youth, especially really all over. But I'm so close to the 209 Stockton, the kids here, helping these kids, and how we're gonna do it. So, hey man, y'all point me in the direction. Who do I need to vote for that's gonna put things in policy, put policies in place to help these kids, and whoever that is, they got my vote. They got my vote for whatever it is. Appreciate everybody's in the chat right now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I got some people saying, hey, Gavin Newsom broke California can't invest in communities when you put a state into a $60 billion deficit. Don't hear a lot of good things about Gavin Newsom. That's for sure. That is for sure. I would say that some of these issues, though, growing up in Stockton, that's the part, right? Like the deficit that California may be in. That resources that could go to helping these people. They take away things like we used to have basketball gyms, right? You had the in-shape cities in Stockton with all the basketball gyms. They took them all out. Like, there's legit, I don't even know where anybody hoops now. And that used to be a place we all went to when I was a kid. So instead of people, on the streets and doing this, doing that, man, we were in the gym hooping. Any opportunity we got. So who's gonna help put some gyms back in place? So whether it's the youth, the adults, old people like me still trying to, get my cardio up. Who's gonna help do that? They got my vote. They got my vote. Stockton was the first city in California to go bankrupt. Matter of fact, I think Stockton was the first city in the United States to go bankrupt, or it was the first big city in California to go bankrupt. Now, I mean, in the United States to go bankrupt. Now, I did air quotes because in California we don't consider Stockton a big city, but when you go outside of California, you realize Stockton is kind of big in comparison to some of these other places. I just moved from Arkansas, and in Arkansas, Stockton would be the biggest city in that state. Like the largest city in Arkansas is Little Rock, and you can fit three three Little Rock populations, like the population of Little Rock, multiply it by 3 times, and you can still fit those many people in Stockton. You know what I'm saying? So we don't consider Stockton a big city here. It's a small town, it feels like. But when you go to other places, it would be the biggest city in several different states. So I believe it was the first big city in the United States to go bankrupt. Hopefully, somebody can help change that. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for all that. Reach out to city council. Yeah, I think right now in Stockton, the city council, you got the dude, you got the dude running, Jason Lee, the Hollywood Unlocked guy. I think he's running for city council. He's got a lot of votes. EBK Jabo for mayor. I think that might. I don't know about that. I wanted to get to the Brandon Aiyuk news. Again, I did talk to everybody when we first got on here, saying, I just kind of want to give like my thoughts on that situation. Again, everybody's looking at the Ricky Pearsall thing, and it's just like, I'm like, man, it's kind of bigger than just that situation or that. Not that it's not. How do I explain it? It's bigger in the sense of there's a bigger issue, and it's not just this San Francisco thing. It's a youth thing, and the guidance, and what do we have for these kids? All right, what do we have for these kids? What do we have to help them? What do we have to, help kind of get them off the streets? And, what resources? Nipsey Hussle. In Nipsey Hussle was killed, several years ago now. It's crazy how fast time is flying. But, I remember Nipsey Hussle being killed. And Nipsey was doing things like, having basically like teaching kids to be like entrepreneurs and having things like that in place, and like what are like who's going to help do those things? Who's going to help do those things? All the things that Nip was trying to do. Somebody had to get Nip out of there because like, nah, this dude, he's trying to do too good. This dude is trying to do too good. He's trying to do too good in Southern California, in LA, in his neighborhood, like, Sloss and Crenshaw, all that. This guy is trying to do too much good. We got to get him out of here. There we go. Vector 90. That's what it was called that Nipsey had going on. And I think that was going to be incredible. All right. But anyways, this was always going to be a short episode. We didn't get to Brandon Aiyuk. I have to go to football practice. I got to be there in 25 minutes, and I got some girls I got to make sure that they're ready so I can get there on time. I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. We will get to the Brandon Aiyuk stuff on Wednesday, and I will be having a Jets person on. Y'all want that Jets person on Friday or Monday? Y'all let me know. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Love y'all. Like button, subscribe, and again, Underdog Fantasy, use promo code Crocky. Download the app or go to underdogfantasy.com. Promo code Crocky. But all right, y'all headed to practice to go help with these knuckleheads. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Peace.